My name is Cade Mercer. I was 23 when my mother decided my sister deserved everything I'd earned, including the birthday gift my grandfather gave me. Part 1 opens mid-driveway, right as a yellow taxi pulls up to the Mercer family home. Cade steps out carrying a small gift bag for his grandfather. Nothing fancy, just something meaningful. Before he can even pay the driver, the front door swings open. Grandpa emerges with open arms, smiling wide. But the smile fades the second he sees the taxi. "Buddy, why did you come by taxi? Where's the BMW we gave you for your 21st? The question hits the air like a stone dropped into water, heavy, echoing, impossible to ignore. Cade opens his mouth. But his mother gets there first. She steps onto the porch, perfect makeup, perfect posture, perfect fake sweetness, and says, "Oh, Dad, the BMW belongs to his sister now." A smirk follows. Not playful, possession. As if she moved a chess piece and didn't expect anyone to question her. Cade lowers his eyes. Not out of shame, but out of habit. Years of being the extra child, the quiet one, the one who never fought back. Grandpa doesn't reply. He just studies his daughter. His eyes move slowly from her smirk, to Cade's empty hands, to the taxi pulling away. A long, chilling silence settles. Cade feels it. Everyone feels it. Because when Grandpa goes silent like that, it means he's thinking. And when he thinks, he acts. And hook. Grandpa turns back toward Cade with a look Cade has never seen before. The look of a man about to correct a generational mistake. Flashback begins, how the BMW was taken, how Cade was sidelined, and why Grandpa's silence is dangerous. Grandpa's silence stretches across the porch like a storm cloud ready to burst. Cade can feel it building, but his mother doesn't. She mistakes the silence for acceptance. She turns away proudly, calling into the house. "Sweetheart, tell Grandpa how happy you are with your new BMW." Cade's sister, Riley, steps out in designer shoes, twirling the BMW keys on her finger like a trophy. "Thanks for the birthday car, Grandpa," she chirps. Grandpa's jaw tightens, barely noticeable, but Cade catches it. Before Grandpa speaks, the scene fades into a flashback from 2 weeks earlier. Cade remembers the day everything shifted. He came home from work to find the garage empty. The BMW, his BMW, gone. He rushed inside, panicked. His mother sat calmly on the couch, sipping tea. "Relax," she said, not looking up. "Your sister needed a car. You're young, you can manage." Cade protested gently. He wasn't yelling. He wasn't demanding. He simply asked why. His mother sighed dramatically. "Because she's the one with a future. You're stable. Independent. You don't need gifts. She does." Riley had stepped out from behind the door then, smirking. "Don't be upset, Cade. It's not like you earned it." That sentence burned deeper than anything else. Not like you earned it. As if being responsible, hardworking, and quiet meant he deserved less. Back to the present. Grandpa looks between his grandchildren again. The keys. The smirk. The taxi ride. And twist. He finally breaks the silence and says in a low, dangerous voice, "Cade, come inside with me. We need to talk." Riley's smile falters. His mother stiffens. They know that tone. Grandpa's about to change everything. Grandpa's study. The truth comes out, and Cade learns he wasn't as forgotten as he believed. Grandpa leads Cade inside, down the hallway, and into his private study, the room no one enters without permission. Once the door shuts, the noise from the rest of the house disappears like it never existed. Cade stands awkwardly. He isn't used to being the center of Grandpa's attention. Usually Riley fills the room with her stories, her drama, her demands. Grandpa doesn't sit. He walks to his desk, opens a locked drawer, and pulls out a thick leather folder. He turns to Cade, eyes sharp and sad. "Son, how long has this been happening?" Cade blinks. "What?" Grandpa gestures toward the driveway, the missing car, the smugness outside. "The way they treat you. Like you're not part of this family." Cade tries to shrug it off. "I'm fine, Grandpa. I don't like fights." Grandpa slams the drawer shut, not in anger at Cade, but at himself for not seeing it sooner. "No, you're not fine. You've been quiet, not because you're weak, but because you've been trying to survive in this mess." Cade doesn't know how to respond. No one ever defended him like this. Grandpa hands him the leather folder. "Open it. Inside are bank statements, property records, a trust deed, investment portfolios, insurance policies, and a 12-page letter written in Grandpa's handwriting." Cade's stomach flips. "Grandpa, what is all this?" Grandpa sits, finally, but his voice is firm. "This is your inheritance package. Signed 5 years ago. Everything I built, half of it goes to you. Cade's breath catches. Grandpa nods. Your father and stepmother don't know. I kept it quiet, for reasons I think you now understand. And twist. Grandpa leans forward. And today, Cade, we make some changes. Grandpa reveals the hidden clauses, and why taking the BMW was a massive mistake on their part. Cade stares at the folder, still processing the weight of what he's holding. But Grandpa isn't finished. He walks back to the desk, retrieves another set of documents, this batch thinner but far more dangerous. Let me explain something, Grandpa says, lowering his voice. When I set up your inheritance, I added a few clauses. Safety nets. Cade frowns. Clauses? Grandpa spreads the papers on the desk. Clause 7b. Any asset gifted to you cannot be transferred, reassigned, or sold without your signature. Cade's eyes widen. That includes the BMW. Grandpa taps the page. Clause 11. If any family member interferes with your gifts, finances, or well-being, their share in the estate is frozen pending investigation. Cade looks up sharply. Grandpa continues. Clause 14. Any fraudulent or forced transfer of property meant for you results in immediate removal of said person from the will. Now Cade finally understands why Grandpa's silence outside was so heavy, why he didn't explode, why he didn't argue. He didn't need to. The paperwork was already a loaded weapon. Grandpa sighs, rubbing his temples. Cade, taking the BMW from you wasn't just disrespectful. It was a breach of contract. A serious one. Cade swallows. So, Mom put her inheritance at risk. Grandpa nods once. Not just hers. Riley's too. The shock hits Cade like a tidal wave. He never wanted revenge. He never had a plan. But his mother and Riley had just walked into a legal trap they created themselves. And twist. Grandpa stands and says, "Let's go back outside. And return your keys." Grandpa confronts them. The BMW becomes the spark that ignites a much bigger fallout. Grandpa walks out of the study with a calmness so sharp it feels like a blade. Cade follows, clutching the leather folder against his chest. Every step toward the dining room feels heavier than the last. When they re-enter, the room falls silent. Riley is still spinning the BMW keys. Their mother is still wearing that smug, satisfied smile. Grandpa pulls out a chair, sits at the head of the table and says, "Riley, hand your brother the keys." The entire room freezes. Riley laughs, thinking it's a joke. "Grandpa, please, he doesn't need it. I actually use the car." Grandpa cuts her off with a raised hand. "Hand him the keys." Her smile evaporates. Slowly, reluctantly, she drops the keys into Cade's open palm. Grandpa nods. Then he turns to Cade's mother. "Now explain to me," he says, voice low and dangerous, "why you transferred an asset that wasn't yours, without the owner's authorization?" She stiffens. "Dad, it's just a car." "No," Grandpa snaps. "It's a contractual violation." People whisper. Riley's fiancé shifts uncomfortably. Grandpa taps the folder in Cade's hands. "Your actions triggered clauses 7b, 11 and 14 of Cade's trust." Riley's fork slips from her hand. Her mother goes pale. What does that mean?" she asks. Grandpa leans back. "It means your inheritance is frozen until further notice." Gasps erupt around the table. Cade watches his mother and Riley crumble. The first time in years they fully grasp the consequences of treating him like the disposable child. And twist. Grandpa adds. "And that's only the beginning. We haven't discussed the second property yet." Riley's head snaps up. Second property? The second property bomb drops, and the family realizes Cade wasn't just ignored, he was written into power. The dining room is dead silent. Only Grandpa's words echo. "We haven't discussed the second property yet." Riley's eyes widen. Cade's mother grips the table so tightly her knuckles turn white. "What second property, Dad?" she stammers. Grandpa turns to Cade. "Son, open page 9. Cade flips through the inheritance folder with trembling hands. Riley cranes her neck, trying to peek. His mother leans forward, face twisting. And then Cade sees it. A deed. Signed. Stamped. Filed years ago. A lake house. A massive one. Fully paid off. Fully renovated. An investment worth more than the main house. Cade's breath catches. He looks at Grandpa, confused. Grandpa nods gently. "I bought that place for you when you were 18. His mother explodes. "What? Why would you give him a house?" Grandpa turns a cold stare toward her. Because unlike Riley, he never demanded anything. He worked. He studied. He showed respect. And he never treated this family's gifts like disposable toys. Riley's face burns. So he gets 2 properties? And I get nothing? Grandpa raises an eyebrow. You had something. You threw it away. He taps the BMW key still in Cade's hand. Both of you assumed he was powerless, that he was easy to walk over. But everything I've built, I placed in the hands of the one person who never asked for it. Cade's mother stands, voice shaking with rage. Dad, you can't punish us over a car. Grandpa slams his palm on the table. I'm not punishing you over a car. I'm punishing you over your character. And twist. He turns to Cade. Son, it's time to talk about who will inherit the company. Riley gasps. The real war has just begun. Grandpa reveals the biggest truth of all, who he really intended to take over the family empire. The air inside the dining room turns heavy enough to choke on. The words, inherit the company, hang over the table like a lightning strike waiting to hit. Riley grips the edge of her chair. Cade's mother looks like someone just pulled the floor out from beneath her. Grandpa folds his hands. For years, he begins, I've watched how each of you treats responsibility, and how you treat each other. He gestures calmly toward Riley. One of you demands everything, contributes nothing, and believes entitlement is the same as value. Riley's face twists. Grandpa. He ignores her. Then he turns to Cade. The other one works quietly. Shows respect. Owns his mistakes. Never once used this family's name to get ahead. Cade swallows hard. He never imagined this moment. Never imagined his name even crossing Grandpa's mind in this way. His mother slams her napkin down. Dad, the company is supposed to go to Riley. That's what we agreed, you told me? Grandpa cuts her off sharply. I told you nothing. You assumed everything. He opens the folder again, page 12 this time. And there it is. A notarized succession letter naming Cade Mercer as the next CEO. Signed by Grandpa. Filed 6 months ago. Riley shoots to her feet. This is a joke. I'm the older child. I'm supposed to get the company. Grandpa's voice goes cold. You can't inherit what you've never earned. Cade's heartbeat pounds in his ears. This isn't just an inheritance. This is power. Real generational power. And twist. Grandpa turns to Cade, with one final bomb. And before you accept, son, there's something else you need to see about your father. Riley freezes. His mother's face drains of color. The deepest secret is still hidden. Final poetic justice. The truth about Cade's father surfaces, the real heir is revealed, and the family finally learns who Grandpa trusted all along. Grandpa reaches into the drawer one last time. He pulls out a faded envelope, older than any document in Cade's folder. His father's handwriting covers the front. Cade's hands instinctively tremble. Grandpa sighs, eyes softening for the first time all evening. This is the truth your father wanted you to know. Cade opens it slowly. Inside is a letter from his dad, written shortly before he passed. As Cade reads, the room falls into absolute silence. The letter says, his father always regretted letting his wife overshadow Cade. He noticed the favoritism. He saw Cade work quietly while others demanded everything. He feared his wife would erase Cade from the family if left unchecked. So he privately asked Grandpa to protect Cade's future. And finally, he begged Grandpa to give the company to the child who earned it, not the one who expected it. Cade wipes his eyes. Riley looks stunned. His mother covers her mouth, realizing her entire plan has collapsed under a truth she never knew existed. Grandpa stands. Your father trusted you, Cade. He believed in you. And I honored that. Riley whispers broken. So, he was always meant to have everything? Grandpa shakes his head. Not everything. Just everything he earned. Cade closes the letter gently. Grandpa places a hand on his shoulder and announces. From this moment, the house, the lake property, and the company all belong to Cade Mercer. Gasps fill the room. His mother stumbles into her chair. Riley breaks down in tears. Cade rises slowly, calm, steady, finally standing in the light. Poetic final line. Being treated like the extra child made me quiet, but being trusted like the real heir finally made me powerful.